Here I come to save the day. My goodness, Mighty Mouse is on the way. Never. It would be great if he could just sit right here. What a legend. Headlines the first one championship card in the US of A. And that was in Colorado, of course. Great week for that venue. First, the BKFC card, and then the one championship card. One championship card was a lot of fun. Like I said, a little something for everyone. A little Muay Thai, a little grappling, and then one of the greatest of all time, Demetrious Johnson, stamps it with a win over Adriano Moraes in the trilogy. There's no debate anymore. He's the better man. What a win. Size difference blows me away. Anyway, without further ado, let us say hello to the great Demetrious Johnson. Hello, DJ. How are you?
What up, Ariel?
What is up? Yes, congratulations. Yes. So happy for you. Considering how the first fight went, considering how the second fight went, how would you define the feeling that you had after that win? That was a big one for you. There was a lot at stake, big show for the company. How did you feel after that win?
I felt great. Obviously I wanted to finish. Adriano's so durable, and he did a good job not overextending with the counter hook like he did in the second fight. And yeah, I was grateful. I thought my clinch was really good. The stuff that we worked on, like defending the takedown and not running into the elbow this time and slipping off on elbow and throwing a lot of knees. It was good.
Are you happy that you don't have to think about this guy anymore?
Yeah, absolutely. I think sometimes when you focus on one opponent for so long, it almost kind of doesn't stunt your growth for fighting. But, like I said before, we fought in August and we're fighting in May. So it's only a 9-month turnaround. So it's not in MMA months. It's very quick. That's a quick turnaround. Like it's like somebody gets surgery and you're back in there. Right. So for me, it's going to feel good, but I love that I got to fight him because he's probably the biggest guy that I ever fought. And in the past, I've always struggled with guys who have been bigger than me, like Dominic, Tim Elliott, I think those two, Miguel Torres. But now I feel like I've added that piece of my game about how to close that distance on guys who have the reach advantage.
Do they tell you how much he weighs on fight night?
No, I know he didn't gain more than 10% because I weighed 140 after fight night. I had my cup on too, so I'll probably weigh 139 or whatever. And if you weigh more than that, you're gonna get penalized. So he said he doesn't get no bigger than 145, which I believe him. So he's just tall and just a big frame.
Right. Okay. Did they weigh you at the arena? Where does that go down?
In the back. After you fight, you go. We did our drug test with USADA, and then they weighed us and they marked it all down. And I came in at 140. Like, it's funny because the day after weigh-ins, day of the fight, I woke up at 136.4, but I also cut to 133 to weigh in. So I cut too much. And then I weighed in the morning of the fight, 136, drank my water, ate my food, my carbs, my salmon, and then yeah, when after the fight, I weighed 140.
How does that happen? You've been in this game for so long and you cut too much?
That shit happens, man. Like, I do all my own dieting. My wife does like all my food prep leading up to the fight, and then fight week I just stay on the same type of thing. And then I was just in the tub doing my cut, watching some stuff on YouTube. And next thing you know, I jump on the scale. I was like, shit, 133. Oh well, it is what it is. I'll drink some water.
What do you watch while you cut weight on YouTube?
I was watching a little bit of Henry Cejudo stuff. I was watching some Meat Canyon stuff. Yeah, just all
What's Meat
stuff,
Canyon?
Man. Don't. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out.
I've never even heard of that. Does it have to do with actual meat?
I don't know. It doesn't.
Okay.
It's just. I'll text you some stuff, and you make up your own mind what it is.
All right, fair enough. And I'm going to ask you about Henry in a moment, but just back to your fight. Getting to fight in America for the first time in so long since the Henry fight, right? What was that like for you? No long flight, all that. Like, did your body feel any different?
Man, at the end of the day, it felt great just to have the family there.
Yeah.
Right? Just my wife, the kids, in-laws, all my friends. That was probably the most amazing part about the whole weekend is, I've been saying this the whole lead up is that a lot of my friends, my inner circle, they don't watch mixed martial arts. They don't even fight. They don't even train. And for them to come all together for me shows you how much, they got love for me And it's cool to bring everybody together, right? It's like I'm a glue and brings all of us together. We had a great time. After the fight, we went to the park, watched the kids play, and then we went to go watch, Henry compete. So it was good. That was the biggest thing. But as far as the elevation in Colorado, I'm so grateful I went out there. Felt great. It was amazing.
Yes. And by the way, forgive me if I asked you this, but your kids, all of them, you said the 2 boys were there, but not the daughter, right?
Not Tanith, no, but she watched at the Airbnb.
But the boys, had they ever been to a fight before?
The first time.
Wow.
First time.
And what was their takeaway?
Maverick, he's all about it. I mean, Tyron's all about it too, but Tyron's very emotional. He got in there, he started crying. He goes, "I'm so glad you won." And then Maverick was like, "Yeah, let's go, baby. That's what we do." He's a WWE fan. He said, "You got to hit him like this, stun him." So they're super grateful. I told them to go wish Adriano congratulations because they compete too. And I tell them at the end of the day, it's about respect to your opponent, being respectful, being humble. And you never know when your day's going to come too. So always, carry yourself, like a good competitor.
When you saw how emotional your son got afterwards, how did that make you feel?
Felt fine. I know how he is. He's a very emotional character. He's very emotional, and that's a trait that he gets from his mom. But it's not a bad trait. It's a very strong trait, to be honest with you. I'm starting to understand how to listen to my emotions and be able to speak them. So Tyron just wears his heart on his sleeve, and he knows it's a big thing. And yeah.
Did it make you emotional?
No. I visualize myself. When I go through a lot of visualization, the one that made me emotional was like if I would have finished him, or if I would have jumped out the cage and go give my kids a hug. But that was also my visualization, was that I didn't see my kids the whole time leading up. But like once they got to Colorado, I basically did all my obligations with the interviews, and I drove right out there to see him, took them swimming, kind of got back in that life, that lifestyle as a dad. 10 was like, "Dad, you gotta put my goggles on." I was like, just like home. Already yelling at Dad. I've been here for 15 minutes. So that kind of broke the ice for me. So I think if I would have gone 20 days or 18 days without seeing them, like FaceTime or helping them get their shoes on, I think I'll probably be a little more emotional. But, I saw them like leading up to the fight, like the day of the fight, I think. So.
Did that not stress you out at all? The fact, like when they don't care, right, that you're about to fight. I know the older ones do, but like you said, your daughter, to balance the two and not be 1,000% locked in, or is that kind of a blessing?
That's a blessing for me. Like it's a blessing for me because I feel that, like I said, fighting is only 25 minutes of my life, and now I'm back home. I'm in the front yards picking the weeds up because I've been gone for 20 damn days, doing laundry. So I'm right back in the things. I made the kids lunch, made them breakfast. I mean, we're right back to where we started,
I love it. Can I just ask you, some criticism of Herb Dean throughout the fight? How did you feel about Herb?
I thought Herb did a good job. I told him back. At the end of the day, Herb Dean's job is to make sure nobody dies in there. I tell him that every single time. And he did a good job. And I understand there's parts of the time in the fight where he's trying to push the action, and I am too. Adrian's a bigger body. He did a good job of locking me down, and that's why I was trying to throw all those knees. And after seeing some of the replays, I just inches from like just that KO blow, knee to the face. But he did a good job. I did my best to try to stay active in there. Get heavy on the arm, push the arm away, throw an elbow, throw a knee, throw a high knee. And then when he backed up, I was right on him to begin with. I think I could have been a lot more aggressive, like with my hands. But when you get in those shootouts, all it takes is one time and you're going to get dropped. So, but yeah, I thought Herb did a good job. I mean, he kept pushing the pace. He kept us, active, and he never broke us up. I felt like he never broke us up when I had him to the cage. But each time Adriano had me to the cage and I'm trying to move and elbow, he would break it up, probably because it was seeing the action from Adriano. Like I'll have to go back and watch it to look at that specific part, like him not, why he kept breaking this up.
What did you think of, one's debut in America? It felt like a big deal. There was a lot, it felt like a lot at stake, a lot of attention on you guys, a lot of attention on you, big spotlight on you. You're the most recognizable face on the card in terms of, and then the crowd seemed really into it, like the grappling they were into, Rod Tang they were into. I know you're getting ready for your fight, but what was your impression of their big debut in America?
I think they killed it, to be honest with you. I think the biggest thing is, one championship does a good job of packaging very well, like the entrances, the fireworks, the actors. It's different from everything else here in North America with PFL, LFA, UFC, you name it. It's a little bit different. And I think to give the fans something else besides, just mixed martial arts, like with the Muay Thai, the submission grappling, you got Rotolo brothers, you got Makimi Simichi, you had Rod Tang, you had St-Pierre Tex. The cool thing about, I always said this, like you can hype somebody up, but if they can't fight, then it's just a waste of time, right? Like our product is good. Like Rod Tang and everybody on the card can fight. Like the RoboCop fight was amazing. I mean, at the end of the day, you just got to give us the platform where we're going to perform. That's how I feel. And I think One Championship does a good job of packaging it together and giving it to the audience.
Do you think your next fight will be, if there is one, do you think it will be in America?
If there is another one, yeah, I would hope so. I love it. It's great, shorter flight. There's only a couple of commissions in our area in North America that do our rule set with the hydration and the needs to ground an opponent. So yeah, we'll see.
So I think a lot of people were wondering, okay, what's going to happen? You win the fight. Is he going to take off the gloves, this or that? But you told us on the show, you'll never do that. You're going to talk to your wife afterwards. You'll do it over coffee like Eddie Alvarez said. It's been a couple of days since the fight.
Just like a couple of days?
Come on. When's that coffee?
Dude, I mean, it's crazy because like when I think about it, like me and my wife haven't even had the chance to even like sit down and like just like,
yeah.
Right? Like we haven't had a chance to even spend time with each other because, in the very beginning of my career, it was just me and her. So it was a lot easier to spend time with each other. But now it's like you have 3 little ones that come home and, Tennis, she's all playing Fairy, and you got Maverick, he wants Cody Rhodes, American Nightmare, and you got Tyron, he's pissed off because he can't go to school today because the power's out. So I got 3 different, emotions, people I have to take care of, and then I have a wife. So we haven't even talked about it. We maybe talked about it for a hot split second, but that was it. So like I said, and I got my plate is full of things I have to do before I can think about that. So yeah, unfortunately, there's no update.
Okay. So would it be fair to say that you are undecided? That may have been your last fight and may not have been.
Yeah, 1,000%. I think it's fair to say I'm undecided. Like the thing is I'm healthy. I still move great. I still feel great. I mean, the weight cut was easy. I made 133. I mean, the training was great. I mean, week 4, week 5 was a little bit rough. I mentioned that in the press conference. But other than that, I mean, like it's still undecided.
Okay. Would it be fair to say you're leaning in one direction over the other?
No, I've not had the time to even think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where I'm at right now. Like when I first came home and I pulled in the driveway, the first thing I fucking saw some goddamn weeds. I was like, I didn't get the weeds up.
Yeah.
But you remember after UFC 197? You remember what I did when I came home?
Fuck. No, I'd be lying if I said I did.
I came home and I pressure washed the fence.
Oh, of course. That's a classic story. I love that story.
You love that story. I was like, the HOA is going to get my ass if I don't pressure wash this fence. Right? So I'm home and I'm getting these weeds up. So once everything settles, I know the spotlight's still on me. One Championship had an amazing weekend, and I was super grateful to come out there with a W. I was super grateful to share the cage with Adriano Moraes. I mean, he was the longest reigning champion in that division. So for me to be able to knock him out and then go out there and I felt, it's kind of weird because I know it's a unanimous decision, but I think one of the judges gave him one of the rounds or whatever. I'm not sure. But yeah, I felt like I won it by a landslide. Like there was nothing he did that actually endangered me when he would shoot. I defended the takedown when he would catch my kicks. I would defend the takedown with my balance. So I'm trying to see that, like, where was he? Maybe him putting his body on me. Maybe they could give him a round, but that's kind of hard to see because they don't score a round. So how do you do, 49, 47? It's so weird, though. Yeah.
By the way, anyone at One Chatri, I know Matt Hume, obviously you're super close with, tell you what they want you to do or say, hey, can you consider this?
No, not at all. Like
Okay.
I talked to Matt a little. I talked to Matt a little bit about it, but he was like, "We'll see." He was like, even after my last fight when I beat Adriano the second fight, he goes, "You do whatever you want." He was like, "You've done everything. Like
Right.
there's nothing left for you to prove." And then same thing. I went home, did my own thing. You know, like, hey, they want you to fight Adriano again. I was like, okay, sounds good. I'll do it. You know, so. But this was before I started letting my emotions come out and listening to my emotions. Like, what are you gonna do after you're done fighting? Like, you need to start working on other projects to, you know, do after that. Like I said, that's why I want to talk to GSP because I felt there was a point in time where he could have kept continuing to fight, but he started acting in, the Marvel movie. He's doing all other stuff. So I'm like, why? I just need to talk to him and talk to athletes. I'll even talk to John Jones because I saw he said that he was like, after I beat Stipe, he goes, I think I'm going to retire. And I'm like, you didn't make so much more money. He goes, well, fortunately for me, I made pay-per-view points. So I had 10 million in the bank when I fought DC the second time. So I just think to have that conversation with somebody in my sport of mixed martial arts.
Yeah, you mentioned that in the post-fight press conference, Khabib, GSP. So you're just going to like call these dudes up and be like, hey, can we talk for a sec?
Yeah, I'm going to reach out to them and see if they'll,
I love
I'll
it.
probably reach out via, Instagram and then see if they respond. And they're like, hey, you mind if I pick your brain on something? I want to just know where you're at. And I'll even talk to Matt about it too and see like what he thinks too, and just go from there.
Can you film that? I mean, you and GSP talking about that? I mean, I'd pay top dollar for that.
No, that'd just be something for me and him.
All right, fair enough.
I bet you Michael Walzer was like, dude,
Yeah,
you gotta film that. That's gonna kill it on the social, kill it on YouTube, bro.
100%. They brought in Akhmetov afterwards, and I mean, talk about a guy who's like towering over you. Jeez Louise, he looked like a welterweight. How did you feel about that?
Business. It's all business.
But do you take away from the moment? I mean, there you are with your kids, your family, and all of a sudden this dude walks in there, he's towering over you.
No. Like if it was started getting like, shoving and all that stuff, then yeah, then I think I would have been pissed because it's like, I'm trying to show a great example for my kids. My two kids are standing there, my wife's standing there. I'm sure someday in my children's life, someone's gonna get in front of their face. Right. And I was like, just you ain't gonna put your hands on them, but they put your hands on you,
Yeah,
then you have my blessing to whoop that ass.
right.
But that didn't happen. So for me, it's business, my job was done. My job was to beat Adriano. And, I shout out to all the partners out there, gave the thanks to everybody. And then they wanted to put him in there and we did it. So,
Does this interest you at all, this fight?
I mean, kind of doesn't. I mean, like I said, as a competitor, absolutely it interests me, right? Because he's on a 6-fight win streak. He was a champion. Him and Adrian went 1-1. So as a competitor, it interests me. As a businessman, I got to look at it as like, what can we make from this? Is there something else we can do that's going to make more money? Is there something else we can do that's going to bring more buzz, right? Like to this day, even Chachi said it, my fight against Rodting has been the most watched fight under One Championship's whole library, right? So I got to start looking at this as a business mindset instead of as a competitor. As a competitor, yeah, I want to fight everybody in the whole fucking division, right? But a competitor doesn't, go off in the sunset, doing all types of things. They keep on fighting and fighting and fighting. So that's why you got to have that balance.
I saw you watching Henry's fight. You're very close to him. You tweeted that you thought he won 3-2.
Yep.
Do you still stand by that?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I did see how they gave it to Aljo. I haven't talked to Henry about it yet. I don't want to give away like the things I think, like I'm a purist because I'm a purist, but I also keep it real, and he keeps it real with me too. Like after I fought Adriano the second time, he goes, "Didn't I tell you ass not to kick?" And I was like, "Okay, Henry, yeah, I fucking kicked him. He took me down." And he was like, "I told you he was gonna take you down. You kick him." And I was like, "What do I do? Not kick? Like it's fighting? Like." I kicked him, and with me kicking him, he taking me down. I busted him up. Then I showed that fake left, and he tries to grab it, and so we're two different animals. Where me, I just go out and I fight, and he goes out there and fight too, but he's so much more strategic, and he has a distance. Where for me, I'm like, fuck this, I don't care about it, I'm going. So, but yeah, I thought it gave it 3-2. Looking back and when I was my feelings, like going into the final round, I thought I had it tied. I had 2 for Henry, 2 for Aljo. And I felt like Henry did enough like when he got that, and that's a thing though, right? Like, you know, I'm judging it off of like my feelings, you know, one championship, because there's times where Aljo, I would say this, Aljo does a great job. He did an amazing job. I didn't account for Aljo's wrestling for Aljo to get him down like that, right? And I know Aljo's a better grappler than Henry because he got his back and was trying to, you know, get the hooks in, right? So, but going that final round when Henry got that takedown, ran him to the cage, the effort he did to that was good. But I would have to go back and watch it, like, and be like a judge. But yeah, like the thing that Aljo did good was like he would shoot, Henry would defend it, and then Aljo would stay there. He would stay as a grounded opponent. And I'm like, need that mother. He stalled. Like for me, I get pissed. I'm like, you're fucking stalling, like man. Like you should get kneed in the fucking face. Like, and for me, Henry, I'm like, Henry, fucking circle behind him. Like, don't just take quarter Nelson. Get body lock, throw him over and circle and pass his guard, or circle behind him and start making a punch. Then if he gets up, then he gets up, but don't just limb the fuck up. Like, so that was like me, like, and for me, I know me and Aljo, I have nothing but love for Aljo, nothing but respect. Even when he got blasted from Peter Yan, like when he was down there and Peter Yan was like, need him, right? And then I got kneed. I was like, yeah, like it's a sport I'm in. So when I see that, I'm like I did a reaction video and I'm like, knee. Aljo's like this. But he does a good job of utilizing that he shoots, Henry stuffs it, he stays down there. And I'm like, he never got punished for that. That's where Henry kind of dropped the ball. Like he should have either circled behind him or stuck and shuck him by and whatnot. But this is my opinion. You know, I gave it away. I was going to talk to Henry about that, but you got my feelings.
I love it. That was so good. That was so good. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
No one's watching. Don't worry.
Yeah, I know, right? So, but yeah, it was a great fight. I mean, like I said, I didn't count for, and I also didn't account for Henry's, Henry's so disciplined with the distance and controlling it. Like you see Henry, he's sitting there controlling it, waiting for Aljo to bite. And who knows if Henry actually, and I know what it's like when you get in there with someone who's kind of funky, like Aljo, like the long arms, the kicks and all that stuff. I've been in there with Dominic Cruz and he was very unorthodox, I should say.
By the way, I love that breakdown so much. I am very disappointed though, that you like. I thought you were going to be after my second Adriano fight, and I thought we were going to get a Henry impression there of him telling you what not to do, and you just went Demetrious talking. You know, like I love the Demetrious. You know, like I thought we were going to get one there, and you did. You robbed us of it. That's the best. I thought I told you not to kick, or I can't do it as well as you, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know, and the hardest thing, like. It's hard because we have, like, I'm so grateful that I got to train with him because I felt like my wrestling's gotten so much better and how to understand takedown defense and how to move. And you know, obviously with my team and that, but sometimes I can't test what we worked in my gym unless I go to Arizona and test it with their guys. Like, so when I go to Arizona and I start training with Henry, yes, we're vibing off each other, but I'm also testing I'm sharpening my tools without hurting them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I'm walking forward and I'm like, please shoot. Take me fucking down. Because if you take me down, what are you going to do? You're going to pass my guard? Like, good luck. Or you're going to ground and pound me from you're not winning the fight by punching me. You got to try to pass my guard and submit me. I love to see you try. And they don't. And it's like, okay, I get back to my feet. I keep walking forward, throwing my knees. So that's one of the things I want to work with Henry is just getting him better about, like, you can manage the distance, but the distance, if you're going to play that distance game, like what he was doing, Aljo, he would sit there and measure that distance and wait. And Aljo knew that. So Aljo would use his range and his length and his kicks. And then once he made Aljo take a bad shot, right, he would shoot, Henry would defend and let him go. Instead of he defend, and he lets him go on him, throw that knee, right hand, left kick. He shoots again. And then the clinch game comes and you start elbow, your knee and shoulder bump. Like that's the game that I want Henry to get. But you can't do it over 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It's like a long time.
Right.
You got to be. That's how I fight. It's like I want you to shoot. I want you to take me down because when you do, good luck passing. And if you do pass, I'm getting up and I'm right back on you. And then when you overextend it, then I'll get that shot that you're looking for. Then the distance management becomes even easier because he doesn't know if I'm gonna come forward. He doesn't know if I'm gonna stay on the outside. You know, I can sit here all day talk about this, and that's what I love about working with him, because we sit there and we respect each other's insight, right? And that's why I love working with him. And you know, I mean, the cringe thing. I mean, when he's doing the cringe thing, it's just to get people to tune in and watch the fight. But I tell you what, Demetrious, he probably make good money on that, man. You know, like you said, I respect the fact that he's all in or nothing. He ain't the fucking best. I'm not just doing this shit to fight. Fuck the crowd. I'm here to move mountains.
It's so good. One last one. Could I ask? Because by the way, these breakdowns are incredible, and this is what you do on your YouTube channel, right?
So no, I mean, mine's more
the gaming stuff.
It's gaming stuff. I could do it, but it's very hard because it's a conflict of interest.
Why? Why is it a conflict?
Because it's because I'm if I break down those fights, it's more of the UFC fights, and I only like to break down the fights that I have skin in the game. What I mean by skin in the game is that actually I watch. You know, Henry and those guys. You know, I think they do a great job on their YouTube channel about breaking down all the fights, giving their insight on it. I've actually trained with Henry. I know his skill set. I know what he can do. I know what he can accomplish. And I could do it, but I just don't want to cross that bridge, you know, working under one umbrella and talking about the other athletes. You know what I mean? So, I mean, could I do it? Absolutely. I have the skill set and the knowledge to do it.
You're so good at it. What about on the broadcast? Why don't you do the one broadcast?
No, I thought about doing it. Yeah, I thought about it. You know, like I said, it's good to have options, as the great Conor McGregor said. It's good to have options. It's not always based on fighting. I know I'm intelligent enough. I have great charisma. I know I can go do other things to make money. So now it's deciding what do I want to keep on fighting and run my body to the dirt, or do I just want to use my analyst hat and do other things? So we'll see.
By the way, did you see Conor's breakdown of the fight? He posted a video.
Oh my God! Look! Oh my God! You do something like this, and you go like this. I thought I was like, fucking Conor, good for you. And you know, it's all fun and games because, like I said, you know, when I talk to Henry, he goes, "Dude, don't kick him. He's going to take you down." You're absolutely right. You know, I think what the things that Henry says, I think it's actually legitimate stuff that all of us can learn from, right? We all can learn something from everybody. Like I learned a lot from Conor, the way he manages distance and he throws with power, everything he has, you know. But for Conor, I think, you know, there's a whole bunch of shit I can tell. One second, baby. There's a whole bunch of stuff I can tell Conor in a little bit. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I can tell Conor to do. But you say hello to Ariel Hawani.
Hi. Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll get it in a second, okay?
This was the last question. This was the last question.
Yeah, but I think, like, you know, even for my skills, that, like, there are things I can learn from Conor from, like, the business aspect and how to make, you know, do your own, you know, whiskey or tequila. And there's things that I can teach Conor where it's like, dude, like, there's so much stuff I can bring to this. You know, but I think it was funny. You go fucking like this, you go like this. I was laughing my ass off. He goes, your face. You know, but you look at the resumes, Henry Cejudo is way better than Conor's resume, you know. But in the day, it's based on what people want. Like, does Conor want to have he became a champ, but he never defended the belt? Does he want to, you know, keep on winning? I mean, I go on here and jump in this argument and start clowning people too, but, you know, I'm a humble man. I stick to myself. You know,
I love it.
I'm just back out of this one.
Well, so happy for you. Congrats on the win. Thanks for doing this. I know you're on daddy duty today, so appreciate you as always, Demetrious. And let us know if you want us to maybe live stream that coffee conversation with your wife whenever you decide. Whatever you want, we're here. Or come on right after whenever you decide yes or no, by the way. If you decide yes, even better. I agree with you. The business, you know, all due respect to Akhmetov, I don't know how much he moves the needle right now for you at this point in your career. So you'll figure it out. You'll be okay. But thank you. Enjoy the victory, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Errol. Appreciate you, man. Have a good night.
The man, Demetrious Johnson, Mighty Mouse. Oh, what a breakdown that was. That was incredible. And how about two daughters appearing on today's program?